hip, sirs, you crazy kids out there, you wacky people. Welcome to once again the off night. We're coming to you from the wild shores and the wild industry of Livonia and Wayne and yeah, Michigan. We're not necessarily on the thumb, we're on the heel of it. But the host and MC for tonight every night, is of course Mark Sweetman. So please, a big round of applause and clipping fingers for Mr. Mark Sweetman.
Woo! All right. I probably should get an applause sound effect. That would probably help things out a little bit too.
That would go a long way. We have an audience out there,
I'm gonna while I'm here, I'm gonna play around with this a little bit because I think I can change my. Let's see. I can change my definition here. I'm on low definition. Let me see if high definition does any better. Now, that high definition, it's more bandwidth. So we'll see how that works. Does it look better?
You?
Yeah. Yeah. Just the picture.
I think you have a poor problem. I'm not sure.
Do you have a poor problem? Oh, that's very funny.
Kind of a sweat pores problem. I'm not sure. That high def, gets you kind of hooked in there,
Yeah. We'll see. If it slows, if I got too much delay on the discussion, though, I may tool it back to the low def.
That's true.
Just because I don't need the high def delaying my speech. When it's just two of us, this is fine. It's when we get four or more on that sometimes the sound gets delayed more. So,
four
but
or
you know
more
what?
on.
Yeah.
Did you say four morons or four morons?
We get four morons.
Okay.
Then you know what happens. No, but you know what? In all this, when you think about it, it was just a year ago. We were all going online like this, and people were just looking for the best deal they could get, And that as the competition heats up, and a lot of these companies start to merge because they just can't make it, the technologies will merge, and they'll be, it'll just get better and better. So.
Oh yeah,
we'll see. All right, let's get our other friends out here. I tried to publish the link to as many people as I could again, but our latest addition to the crew is who I call my Florida reporter, soon to be back in Michigan, but we'll take her in Florida for as long as we can. More news from Florida. We'll have to talk to her about what's going on with their cesspool or whatever the sludge is that's happening over by Tampa Bay. Here's Kathy Ryan, everybody.
The whole state's a sludge pool, but
yeah,
how can you tell if it's leaking?
The sludge is going into Gulf Bay.
Yeah.
At least when our dams broke, it was just river water.
Exactly.
Tittabawassee River. And it was upriver from Midland, so that helps, So we didn't have it hadn't gone by the chemical plants yet, Dow chemical plants. So, so at least we had that going for it. At least it was clean water that was wiping people out.
Nothing radioactive.
Exactly.
First, you got to put clay down, not just sand. It's got to be clay bottom there, and plastic, not just newspaper and sand. I'm sorry, that's.
That's something that really sucks about our country is that people just accept what's told to them a lot of times. It's because you're going to put all that radioactive sewage in this little hole and you're just going to have it walled off and just left there near populations. Oh, you'll be all right.
They never leak. They're fine.
They're fine. They never leak. I mean, you got worse pride. If you were up north, you'd be near a nuclear power plant, and that'd be even worse. So,
Oh yeah.
Well, to me, it's the open pit version of it. It's like any migratory flying bird will stop there thinking it's water.
Yeah, exactly.
So you didn't even cover it up. You just left it an open pit of cesspool. For anything flying all along here.
That close to the Mexico. Yeah, okay. What were you thinking?
Gulls check in, but they don't check out.
There we go.
Hey, let's get Sam in here. Our favorite former I say former comic. He's still a comic. Nobody ever becomes a former comic. If you're a comic, if you did your time, you're a comic. But former comic, former radio man, Bovie Balm, Man About Town, our New York connection. Here he is, Sam Greenfield, everybody. Welcome, Sam, to the show.
Hey.
So how was your week?
Oh, Sam, we need to. We can't hear you.
Hold on, let me see if I can. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Mine says can't unmute your guests because they chose to mute themselves. So, Sam, you're the one that has to trigger the button that unmutes you. Because when I hit the unmute on you, when I hit it still says that you're muted. When I hit unmute, it just says that you have to do it. All right.
And there you go.
I think, is he got it?
It's all this high tech, man.
It is.
Oh,
Go in
there
the
you
way. Oh, there we go. And this is our weekly ritual of Sam going out and coming back in, trying to get all the tech stuff straight. All right, Andy. It was 70 today. It was nice. Did a little yard work.
Little yard work.
There you go.
There, Sam. We can hear you.
Now, is it something you have to have set before you go on, or because
I'm the only one here. My wife went to do laundry and went out for a walk. My daughter went out with a friend of hers. I cooked both of them salmon, and as my wife's eating it, she goes, "I really don't like salmon."
I'm with her.
Then,
here's
don't tell me it's okay to make it.
Yeah.
here's what I'm excited about today. Akeem Badu. Name mean anything to anybody?
Not a thing.
Akeem Badu. He was an A ball for the Tiger system. So A ball would be, I think, the West
16 years old.
Exactly, West Michigan Whitecaps. So anyway, he was an A ball last year. Had such a great spring. They said, forget AA, forget AAA. Let's put him on the roster, see how he does. If he doesn't pan out in April, we can send him back. When we make some adjustments. The first pitch he faced on Sunday, he got into his first game. The first pitch, not the first at bat, the first pitch of his career hits it out of the park. Right today. Oh, and they lost the game. So
They got killed.
So he was the highlight. So today they get killed again, but in the ninth inning, his second game, he hits a grand slam. So it's
wow.
I know. I mean, he's just, and so like everybody's a buzz about Akeem Badu. So, and well, actually people around here knew about him because of the spring in Lakeland down in Florida. He was smacking the crap out of it too, but it would be so nice to have another rookie around here that just, we haven't had a rookie like that since Justin Verlander, that just
the thing that amazed me over the weekend was the pitcher for the Angels, who not only pitched a great game, but hit a 451-foot home run.
Yeah, they don't designate hit him, huh? They let him hit.
Well, if you're hitting 450 feet, no.
Yeah. I guess so. That's amazing.
Yeah. Hey, we're pulling you. No.
Yeah, because you'd think he would be you'd think he'd be on a National League team, you know what I mean, rather than an American League team. They could probably DH him on the days he's not pitching.
Yeah, but then he gets worn out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Then he gets worn out.
What's his name? Our Triple Crown winner.
Barbara, is that you?
Miguel.
Cass? The salmon is in the fridge, honey. Mom went for a walk.
Our future Hall of Famer and AAA Crown winner, Miguel Cabrera. His two MVP seasons, both the one that he won the Triple Crown with and the season before that, he played third base those years, and everybody's talking about how they DH him to rest him, but the new manager started him at first base this year. Yeah, I guess he does better when he plays out in the field.
Who's your manager now?
AJ Hinch.
The guy from the Astros.
Yeah, the cheater.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. Did you hear what? God, what's his name? the comic, came up with a really good line about cheating in baseball. Let me think of his name, and I'll give you the joke. But
Canadian baseball?
no, American baseball. He said, you know, to you know, in the American leagues, that to sit there and you know, yell at people about, you know, taking you know, signals from other teams, you know, if that's illegal or not. It's part of the game, you know. I mean, if that was the case, we'd have to give World War II back, you know.
My favorite thing in terms of what is considered cheating is when Joe Niekro was on the mound, and the umpire, the other manager said he's got something in his pocket and he's putting it on the ball. I'm telling you. So the umpires, all of them, go out to the mound, right? And he tries to
Throw it out.
drop the emery board he has in his back pocket.
Back pocket, yeah.
And it's so obvious it falls out of his pocket. And this is what he does. You can't really see him because I'm not whole body. But he looks at it, he goes, oh, where'd that from?
Where did that? Yeah, he did the gasping and choking.
By the way, there was an article in the paper here about the 10 states that lead the United States in obesity.
Okay.
And only one of them was not in the South. And it's yours.
Michigan, yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
It was Mississippi, Alabama, West Virginia, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Louisiana, West Virginia, Michigan, and I can't, but all in the South except for Michigan. And I don't understand why it's Michigan.
Kielbasa.
Cars.
Yeah. Well, you could say that about Cleveland. You could say that about Ohio.
Cars.
Cars. I mean,
Car culture.
The cities were never laid out for people to walk in. They were laid out for people to drive in. Like
what
in
is
New York City, everybody walks.
Like
German food.
There isn't any.
German food.
We have no.
Is that true? It's really bad?
Oh, it's terrible.
It's the worst. It's the worst. The best. I tell you what, the best public transportation in our whole state is in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and that's only 80,000 people.
Yeah.
And that's only because they've got a bunch of kids. I mean, you know, half their their population is 80,000. You add the school, it's another 40,000, and they're all kids that don't have cars. They can't bring cars to school. You know, there's just not enough room.
There's nowhere to put them. Yeah.
So they can do public transportation. It's a sticky wicket here, and it's I don't know. I don't want to say that it's race, but it's race. I mean, everything.
Well, when they tried to put together a public transportation system with Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County, which are it's a regional thing, and Oakland County, thank you, L. Brooks Patterson, and Macomb County, they wanted nothing to do with it. And, you know, the question was, well, how can people from Detroit get out to these rapidly expanding counties where the jobs are? And, well, that was their problem.
And they can't.
They can't. They absolutely can't.
Well, at first, I mean, the historical aspect of it is Ford and those guys tore apart the trolleys downtown.
Exactly.
Because they wanted to sell cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to have an extensive streetcar system. There was, and Detroit was huge too. I mean, square miles. You know, it's like 17 miles to get from the farthest corner of Northwest Detroit to downtown Detroit. And if you see the way it's shaped, downtown is kind of a southeast portion. The east side is not nearly as big as the west side. And so that's 17 miles. And then you will go up Gratiot. That's another 10 miles. And it was built for a public transportation system. And they had one. It was all electric streetcars. But when the three major car companies, four at the time, actually it was more than that because there were a lot of small car companies, Studebaker and Nash and a lot of other smaller companies.
Studebaker.
Were around. Yeah. I mean, you see names on streets and on buildings downtown that you haven't heard in years. The Hudson. the
Piece
Packard.
of shit Boulevard.
Yeah. Get the Packard facility is still, deteriorating away. That hasn't been around that's been
There
gone
was
for
a
70
there was a
years.
comedian. I feel bad because I can't remember his name. He killed himself. A Jewish guy from New York. Imagine. Blonde curly hair. God damn, I cannot remember his name. But he had a great joke. He said, now this is obviously years ago, but he said, I just bought a Renault car. It's called Le Car. And he goes, has anybody heard of it? And a few people clap. He goes, yes, it's called Le Car. 3 days after I bought it, Le Brakes went. He said, it's Le piece of shit. By the way, just for your edification, Turner Classic Movies?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They are showing all their movies in alphabetical order.
Wow.
Huh.
They are. I'll give you an example.
So basically, what you do is you go out and buy Leonard Maltin's book on movies, and then you've got the list of
That's
order,
right.
the order for Turner movies. Right?
There you go.
But right now at 8:00, Father of the Bride with Spencer Tracy, then 5 Easy Pieces, the 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T,
Ooh.
Flower Drum Song. They're all in alphabetical order. I'm telling you.
Wow.
And some great movies. Flying Down to Rio, For Me and My Gal with Judy Garland and Gene Kelly.
Nice.
Forbidden Planet.
I love that one.
Foreign Correspondent, one of Hitchcock's great ones. The Fortune Cookie with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. 40 Seconds. It's amazing. I don't know why they're doing it. They normally don't. But
Speaking of Judy Garland, I never saw it when it first came out, but Renee Zellweger's film.
Judy?
Oh my God. I just saw it recently. It was so good.
She's a hell of
Was
an
it?
actress.
I'm looking
Really?
for a freckle.
She's a hell of an actress, Renee Zellweger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be that if you had a name like that in the 30s and 40s, the studio would pressure you to change your name.
Yeah.
Yep.
But those days are gone.
Yeah.
I can't think of many actresses. Diane Keaton changed her name because when she wanted to be in Actors Equity, her real name was Diane Hall. And there was already a Diane Hall in Actors Equity, so she used her mother's maiden name, Diane Keaton.
Huh. How about that?
And Michael Keaton's real name is Michael Douglas.
Oh, isn't that something?
So he had to
Wow.
change. Obviously, he had to change his name.
Yeah.
I don't think changing it to Kirk was a good idea, but that's me.
Anyway, who else I think is underrated that I saw? It was one of those serials, one of the streaming service serials with Reese Witherspoon. It's one that she actually produced.
Oh.
I don't think she's underrated. I think people appreciate her talent. She's an Oscar winner. She did
Yeah.
Big Little Lies. No, I think
Little Lies,
people
yeah.
respect her talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the one she was in with Washington? I can't think of Kerry Washington.
Denzel,
No, Kerry Washington.
Gary.
Kerry Washington and
Oh, that was very recent. I didn't see it.
Oh, it's only like about 6 episodes. It's really worth investing.
Well, all
time in.
English television. I mean BBC. All English. It's all their series are 6 shows, and I'll see you later.
I like that.
They don't do 10.
Yeah.
They had a Law and Order UK,
Yeah.
and they did. They had a Law and Order UK. What's the matter?
6 Law and Order UK. They didn't even get to the second bump. It was like just bump.
No, but they use episodes based on episodes in the United States, and they change them a little.
Uh-huh.
Like there was one there was one episode about a guy who was accused of killing a prostitute, and it turned out that his wife killed her and tried to frame him because she felt humiliated by his behavior.
How
But
clever of her.
in the Law and Order one, UK, she did this because he gave her herpes, and it damaged their new child.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So they
Well,
changed it a little.
justifiable. Yeah,
They changed it a
justifiable.
little.
Yeah.
Did you see the comedian in Cars with Tina Fey and Seinfeld?
I saw that
They were,
one.
they were
Yes,
bitching
I
about
saw all of them. I love
Ricky
them.
Gervais. They were bitching about Ricky Gervais because he got all that accolade for The Office, but he just did 6 episodes,
Oh.
and they're kind of like,
I'm the only person.
but we had we had to do 12 episodes a year.
I'm the only person of the 4 of you. I'm willing to bet this. I can't stand him.
You're kidding. I love him.
Gervais.
I know. I told you. I
Yeah,
can't
okay.
stand
You're right.
him.
Why?
I want to shoot him when he does the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Uh,
best.
to each his
I will
own, I
say.
guess. To each
He
his
Yeah.
acts like he's not an actor. He acts like he's not an actor,
Yeah.
and he's shitting on these people. And
Yeah.
he says, well, you don't deserve all these. Then don't take the money, Ricky.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
If it's
Good
if you
point.
think they're frauds, don't get paid.
Yeah.
Do what everyone else does at the Golden Globes. Sit at a table, get drunk, and yell shit.
Yeah.
But don't take the money for hosting it and pretend like, oh, this is beneath me. No, it's
Exactly,
not, bitch.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
I hate that about him. And the other thing is, The Office. Yeah, he does talk about it like they created Ben-Hur. Calm down.
Yeah.
Oh, other than that, how do you like him?
I cannot stand him. I can't. The only person I hate more, I don't hate him, but the only person I won't watch now is Chris Pratt. Because
Oh God, yeah.
because Chris Pratt, I just found out, is virulently against LGBTQ community.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, he is.
So
a
and you know
staunch
you're going to
Christian.
find out.
Yeah.
You're going to find out that he's balls deep in a male hooker. You know that. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
any day
Yeah.
now.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the way the script always plays out.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like that guy, that evangelist, Ted Haggard. Well, I knew they were men. I didn't know they were drug addicts. Oh, okay. Well, that makes it all better.
Yeah.
God, I forgot about Ted Haggard. Is he surfaced again anywhere? Is he
No.
done?
No.
Well,
Well, his church fired him. His wife left him. The one that amazed me is, I think I'm right about this. Remember Larry Craig, the
Yep.
congressman who played
yes, with
footsie in the
toilet
bathroom?
paper,
Yeah, Idaho
Yeah.
Senator Robert. Yep, Craig. Yep. I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, his wife is still with him.
I don't. You know what? I do not fault anybody for that.
You don't fault what?
I don't fault anybody for that. For people that stay together, I don't.
No, I don't either. I don't either. He adopted her children. He's given her, from a previous marriage, he's given her children a great home.
Yep.
I mean, he may stay too long in telling his bedtime story, but that's between him and the kid.
That's just the boys. That's just the boys. Yeah.
Did you guys happen to see? I don't know if you guys. I don't really follow. I see people on Facebook, but the big thread for me this week was I said something about. You notice how all the people that wanted to hang the Democrats because they ran a pedophile ring in D.C. have said are out there ready to hang Matt Gaetz from Florida. And then,
yes.
and then my answer to my own question, I said, yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And the response I get from my brother was,
I was wondering if he was any relation.
he's my brother. We're 15 years apart. So we're not, we're not really
Well,
close.
I think you're further apart than that.
Yeah. Anyway,
in so many ways.
Yeah. My Trump loving brother, he puts down something about how, well, just look at those gas prices. And I said,
I
gotta
saw
hand it
that.
to I said, I gotta hand it to you, Eric. You're the only one I know that's ever equated gas prices and pedophilia.
By the way, a guy I know did the same thing about gas prices. And I said, listen, let me explain this in a language you'll understand. Gas prices are determined by president supply and president demand.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what determines gas prices. Not whoever the president is, not if, they're allowing women to drive in Saudi Arabia. No, no, no. No, it's supply and demand. And now, I believe I'm right about this. The United States now exports more oil than imports.
That's
Correct.
true.
Mhm.
And so that's you guys would know this because you're car country, but that's one of the reasons the Saudis are so desperate to form an alliance with the United States. And from what I understand, now that Trump's no longer in office, Biden's not returning their calls.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Isn't that a shame? Now,
See, what I want to have happen, I want him to cripple Russia because economically, I want him to cripple them because that's the only way you're going to get Putin out.
Mhm.
He's got a pretty strong hold on that. He reminds me of
Who, Putin?
yeah. He
Oh
reminds
yeah,
reminds
like
me
iron.
he reminds me of a mafia lord a little bit. Like
Yeah.
What, honey?
you look the wrong way and
Who? I believe so.
The mob boss, yeah.
That you went
Yeah,
for a walk
he
while
reminds
she's doing the laundry.
Gabby, I thought you came back.
No, I guess not. It's wrapped in aluminum foil, by the way.
Sam doesn't know how to mute either, as well as unmute. So.
There he is.
I had to
No,
tell
but
my
Putin-
daughter about the food. Sorry.
But Putin reminds me of a warlord, of a gang leader.
Well, that's what he is. He's
Yeah.
a gangster.
I mean, what's happened to this guy? What's happened to this guy that they tried to kill and he got out and he went to Germany?
He's in jail,
He's in prison.
and
Hunger strike,
he's in
isn't he?
jail, and he's on a hunger strike.
Yeah.
and he's got support, but I don't know what that's going to do for him.
Does he understand that if you're on a hunger strike in Russia, they don't say, "Well, I guess he called our bluff"?
Yeah.
We better feed him.
Yeah. Let's get him a
We don't want-
feeding tube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
What is this? What is this term? Blood on your hands. What do they mean by blood on your hands?
We
I
don't understand why you'll.
I don't know.
How
I don't
about if we
understand
give you vodka anally? How about that, Mr. Funnyman?
Among other things.
Vodka.
Well, I loved it when Biden said something about that Putin was a murderer, and this. Well, you should apologize for that. You're going to take that back.
Blow
And
me.
yeah, I know. Biden's like, no.
And you know what I love about it? He didn't hedge.
Yeah.
He didn't go, well, what I meant was, you really think
Yeah.
he's a murderer? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
Yeah,
is.
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, and the
What are you
thing-
going to do? Hurt my feelings? You
When he
borscht eating
said that-
piece of shit.
When he said that, I was thinking, you know what? Joe Biden was in a position where he would know if Putin was a
Exactly.
and he didn't go into Trump. If he knew, he would have gone into some explanation of how he knew and how great he is and tried to make
Yeah.
it sound like
No.
There are a lot of murderers out there. We're not
Great
picking on
thing.
you.
yeah.
Yeah, I loved when he said that. We've murdered people too.
Yeah,
Could you kiss
exactly.
Putin's ass more? Well,
Yeah,
he turned out he could.
Yeah. Yeah. What is my own?
They must have so much on him. Part of it is, as his sons Uday and Hussein said, they do a lot of business with Russia
Sure.
Yeah.
They get a lot- you know what?
because he can't get a loan in an American bank.
Well,
Yeah.
and when the German banks caught on to that too,
Deutsche Bank, yeah.
Deutsche Bank and USB and all those, then he had to go to the Russians because he didn't have American banks, he didn't have German
Mhm.
banks, he had to
Yeah.
go to Russia.
Yeah.
And if
When
he
Deutsche
and now-
Bank won't
was a
loan you money.
racist, he probably would have
you're
gone
in
to
trouble.
China because China's got more money than Russia.
Exactly.
Well, I would.
You
Yeah,
can't borrow-
people don't understand this for reasons that escape me. Russia's economy is in the tank.
Yeah.
Russia's economy is not thriving. Russia, they can't export their oil. Their economic system is it's worse than Israel's, which is like 500 wealthy guys and me. I mean that's that's it. It's the filthy rich and the extreme Orthodox Jews. That's the power core
Yeah.
in Israel.
Well, you heard what
You
happened in Lebanon. You heard what happened in Lebanon, right?
No.
And well, in Lebanon, I happen to have some Lebanese friends, and I know about this. But what happened in Lebanon is they were having all kinds of problems with the refugees from Syria, right? just draining them. And so they were going to trying to get help from the U.S., but it was hard with dealing with Trump. So anyway, what they decided to do was, well, what we could do, we're a government, we could print some money. But what they did was they told all the rich people that what they were going to do, and which exacerbated the problem even more. Not only did they inflate everything and devalue the currency by printing a bunch of it, they told the people that had it about it so that they could convert to dollars or get their money out of the country. So they got all the rich people got their money out, and people are pissed in Lebanon now. Because the wealthy basically.
That used to be such a terrific country. Seriously.
Yeah.
Lebanon,
Beirut was the Paris of the Middle East.
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
The Paris of the Middle East. Yep. Yeah, I guess it still is. A friend of mine operates a I guess you'd call it a daycare center. It's downtown, so it's like for businesses. And it's very, very progressive for Lebanon because they're still a bit sexist over there. So, but fathers and mothers bring their kids to this daycare center for businessmen, and it's almost as if they have a Lebanon that is secular, which kind of keeps the economy straightened, and then they have they want religious freedom, but they're also an Islamic country mainly, but they have Jews and they have Christians and they have atheists, and it's just very difficult because the hardliners are always trying to push other things.
Well, oftentimes too in countries like that, and even we're seeing a lot of that here, is the progressives is French for the young people. And
the Arab Spring.
Yeah. And it's probably the same, people that are dropping their kids off at daycare are young people. And
it's funny. And here's the thing too, they teach these kids English. And so if we had them on the show, they'd be talking about 6 episodes of Special Victims, Law and Order. They'd be talking about Law and Order UK too, because they have the satellite dishes and they have all the they have access to all the news, and they have their version of Fox, and CNN
exactly. Yeah.
I had another comic, I can't think of his name now. Another comic mentioned to me about where'd you get this information? So I quoted Al Jazeera as a source of where I had gotten some information. He goes, "Oh, great, I always get my information from a propaganda arm of Iran." And I go, "Well,
what?"
Yeah, that's what he said. And so my response was, "Well, let me see. Al Jazeera is the official news agency of Qatar, and Qatar is a Shiite Muslim country, and they're so Shiite that they don't even have an ambassador they're so Sunni. They're so Sunni that they don't even have an ambassador in the Shiite country of Iran. So I don't think that Al Jazeera is the propaganda arm of the Iranian government." And he goes, and then he gives you one of those, they're all towel heads. In other words, he doesn't. You try to explain.
You know what expression I hate? I hate this. Well, I guess we have to agree to disagree. I want to throw a brick at somebody.
I know. In other words, I'm right.
What it means to me is I'm too stupid to keep arguing.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, though. It takes 2 of us to agree. So if we have to agree to disagree, I don't agree that we have to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Well, see, if you do that, his head will explode. You can't do that. No, if that poor bastard, no, that's just not going to, But the dumbest thing I ever heard out of a celebrity was from Craig T. Nelson.
Oh.
He said, "When I first got to this town, LA, I struggled, okay, and no one helped me. The government didn't help me. I got by on food stamps and welfare."
Yeah.
Very.
And I thought, you should thank God that you're an actor.
Yeah. because you couldn't hold a job anywhere else with
He
that
couldn't. He
mentality.
couldn't hold water if he
Yeah.
was a bucket. Jesus,
Well,
he's stupid.
And the other thing, as a woman, often when I have a man standing there telling me that, and I said, yeah, and you know what? And you're a tall white guy too, so you already had an advantage over most.
But
of
by the
world.
way, I told this friend of mine, and he got so angry. I think my plan worked. He hung up on me, and I don't think I'm ever going to hear from him again, which was really.
Nice. That's the
Yes.
plan.
You see, he was talking about Biden's a socialist, and I said, listen,
Oh,
you know what you have to do? You have to live your proof. I mean, you have to live your truth, rather. You have to live your truth. Turn down your Medicare. Turn down your Medicaid. Don't call the police if you're in trouble. Don't call
Yeah.
the fire department if your house catches fire. Don't let your kids use the libraries, and don't drive on I-95.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't do any of those things if you hate socialism, because those
Yeah.
are. And he hung up, and I went, yes.
Yes.
Work.
Finally.
We got it.
Yeah.
We got a kid here in Detroit, Mike Farley, and I've not met him, so I'm not really certain he's a real person, because when you read his stuff on Facebook, it just sounds like the type of stuff that somebody would write just to get things going.
Is he a kid?
I think so. I don't know. I mean, I have a suspicion who he is, but I don't have any proof.
Well, Chris Farley has a brother who's very right wing.
This isn't the same guy. I know Chris Farley's brother, and he spent some time in Detroit too. And this person's a little bit younger than he is. But anyway, and I think Mike Farley's just a made up name. But he says, are there any clubs that you can go where they're not making fun of preachers? He goes, I saw somebody do a bit on Ken Copeland, and I thought it was horrible. Blah blah blah. It almost made me want to quit comedy. And I responded with, "Oh, yeah. All right. Well, could you tell us then the preacher that we do make fun of that will get you to quit comedy? Because
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get more with that. I'm doing a show. What's up?
I love this
It's
call-in.
It's his bookie.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I think it was Burr that did that joke about the
Bill Burr.
The Burr.
Yeah, I know
He was in
Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian. Yeah, so he did the joke about the baseball joke about World War II.
That's funny.
Bill's comedy has changed,
hasn't it?
He's a little. I've known him forever. He's meaner.
Mm.
It's a little meaner than it used to be.
Yeah,
And when his jokes are mean, some people do mean jokes and they're funny. Nick DiPaolo does mean jokes, and he's hysterically. Nick DiPaolo and I could not be further apart politically, and he makes me laugh so hard I cry. He's hysterically funny, but Bill's jokes are mean and they're not funny. Some of them.
Oh.
His monologue on Saturday Night Live, he bombed.
Yeah, it was not so good.
And you have to read the temperature of the room. It's network television. He got it wrong. And I like him. I mean, he's not a bad guy, but he blew it.
Yeah.
But DiPaolo lives in Georgia now.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
Well, you can date a cousin.
That's true.
No, he's been married forever.
Make your own moonshine.
I could live in Georgia.
Huh?
You could live in Georgia too, Sam. There's parts of Georgia you could live in.
I could live in Atlanta.
That's what I mean. That's what
Yeah.
basically.
I could also live in Athens.
Yep, Athens is another one.
That's it.
No, what about Columbus? Isn't there a Columbus, Georgia?
No, there'll be none of that. No Columbus, no Marietta, no. I've been all through that state. No, in fact, years ago, John Mendoza and I did 3 weeks. We did 1 week in Augusta, 1 week in Charleston, South Carolina, and I can't remember the third week where we were at. But Augusta, holy crap! We stayed in the house of the manager. It was a huge house, like 9 bedrooms, okay? And his girlfriend, Vicky, it was hot as hell. It was like 99 degrees, you know, it's just, and I got some watermelon. And I said, would you like some? She goes, I ain't eating that nigger food.
Oh,
I went,
uh,
well, I guess KFC hasn't seen you around, huh? But the funniest
Wow.
thing was, John Mendoza met this woman, and he told her he was Italian. I think he's part Irish, but Puerto Rican. And she was crapping all over Puerto Ricans. Just they smell bad, that. And he's telling her, you know, he's Italian. And so she spent the night with him. And he takes me aside. I love this. He takes me aside. He says, while we're having sex, I'm going to tell her I'm actually Puerto Rican. So I'm in the other room and I'm reading. And all of a sudden I hear a woman scream. And I go, uh-huh. So the next morning, of course, she was gone. But the next morning, I said, so how was your evening? And he said, well, I stayed on for 8 seconds, so I guess I won. How great is that? How great is that?
Wow.
But this woman that he did this to, I remember I said, I mentioned Jane Fonda. Remember, this is 1985. I mentioned Jane Fonda, and she goes, you mean the communist? I said, no, that's Jane Skifonski. Jane Fonda is an actress. And oh no, she just wouldn't hear of it, just. But that was hysterical.
Weren't you the one, Sam, that told me the story of the girl that when you went out with that wouldn't eat Famous Amos chocolate chip cookies?
That's correct.
I thought that was your story.
Yeah, that was me. Wouldn't eat Famous Amos. And I said, I got news for you.
Famous Amos?
Huh?
Because of Famous Amos?
That's correct. Because and I said to her, I said, let me ask you a question. Do you honestly think he sticks his hands in every batch of cookie dough? Are you nuts? He owns the company, you dimwit. I actually called her a dimwit. And she goes, I'm not stupid. She said, I am not stupid. I went, and by this time I knew my ship with her had sailed. So, she goes, I am not stupid. I go, yes, you are.
Yes. Yeah.
I said, see, the thing about stupid people is they don't know it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here to tell you.
Pancakes either.
Huh?
You probably didn't eat Aunt Jemima pancakes either.
No, now see, that's a different story because Aunt Jemima was subservient. In fact,
right.
when they changed the name, I don't know if you saw this, but all these Southern politicians, and just Southern, by the way, said, I think this is a shame. I remember as a child, I loved eating them Aunt Jemima. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she was subservient, so that was all good.
Yeah,
that's part of our tradition. That's our tradition. Oh,
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you notice how when all these corporations want to change all these things that are not so progressive, now it's cancel culture. But shit, they were trying to cancel everything. Back
Ask the Dixie Chicks about cancel culture.
Dixie, you can't dance, you can't sing, you can't do anything because it's against America.
Yeah, I got a warning. I got a warning from Facebook because I wrote on Facebook. They wouldn't put this out. I said, I don't know if you read this, but Aunt Jemima has changed their name to Jew Boy Flapjacks, which I thought was very funny. And they weren't having it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just to show you the effect that the Russians have had on Facebook, for my birthday a couple years ago, my brother.
You said for your birthday?
Yeah, for my birthday. My brother put a thing on there saying, I can't believe you're 70 years old. And I said, how did you find that out? And he said, oh, it's all over Facebook. And I said, damn Russians spreading crap like that. And I got a warning from Facebook that they would not tolerate that kind of attacks on people. All I said was damn Russians about, how dare they give my age out. Yeah. So,
I don't know if I told you guys this, but Kathy, I thought that you would. If I did, I'll stop. But when my mother's been passed away 1991, and she was 91.
wow.
So this has been a while. But when she turned 70, which was 1970 something, right?
71.
I'm not good in math, and and not at all, not at all. And so my brother was going to have a surprise birthday party for her, 70th party, and he said to me, he took me aside, he said, "I'm going to tell her that there's a party because she's 70 and I don't know if her heart can take it." And at the time, I thought, okay, yeah, that makes sense because 70 then is not 70 now.
No.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Right.
No.
70 then was, one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. But
Exactly.
now,
Yeah.
look at you and me, Kathy, young, vital, vibrant people. Because if I get up from this chair, I'll turn to dust, but that's not the issue.
We were talking to the guy that's helping us plan our retirement, and basically he's to the point he just needs something to do. And aside from his dad, we're his oldest clients. So
wow,
yeah.
So basically, well, he's younger than we are, and he hasn't been in it that long. And the people that would go to him that are our age already had people, but we really didn't have it, and we were doing it on our own. And he was running Wayne County's retirement funds.
Wow.
And that we didn't know was a political position.
Yeah.
So when Ficano was out and Evans was in, they hired some other firm and he was out. And so he says, "Hey, if you guys like, I'm going to put a shingle out and try to do it on my own. I'm going to take select clients." He says, "Well, what is it about us that you like?" And he says, "You guys don't spend money." I go, "All right." He goes, I can create a plan for you guys. Anyway, so we're going over this plan and everything. And so now he's to the point where he's going, "All right, here's what we can do. If you take this out then, and whether we're going to take out Social Security before we take out our own funds, or you got to take it, you can't take them out till 62, and you got to take them out by 72. By 72, you got to start taking out Social Security." And he's going through, and he says, so he does this one scenario. He goes, "All right, you can do this." And he goes, "You'll have a great time." I said, "I'm not sure how much of a great time I'm going to have. Wait the good times in my 60s and 70s. I don't think my 80s and 90s I'm going to be that much into the good times. So if you're going to be wait it for 60s and 70s."
Yeah.
But he does this one scenario. He goes, "Hey, you guys got enough. You can do $6,000 a month." He goes, "But then your kids don't get anything, and you have to live to 108." So,
boy, Mr. Rosy picture painter.
Yeah.
Well, a friend of mine had the best advice. Her thing was, well, I want to, leave money for the kids and all that. And he said, you put those kids through college. One went through U of M Law. He's doing quite well. The other one got his master's at Stanford in computer science. He's doing quite well. Our philosophy with you is going to be not $1 left behind. Go spend your money.
Exactly.
And I thought, there it is. I'm all for that. You know what? All this.
That's what
money aside for the kids, and
that's what Warren Buffett did.
Yeah,
Warren Buffett told us, and you know something? Because he told them that early in their lives. I saw that on 60 Minutes, CBS Sunday Morning. Yeah. He has 5 kids, and they're all grown up. I mean, he's 90, but they talked to them, and they were like, "No, I don't want his money.
Yeah.
No, I can make my own way. No, he impressed upon us, you don't want to keep, and he's right. You don't want to keep coming back to the well, Donald Trump. You don't want to keep, coming back to the well, Donald Trump Jr. Well, make your own way. I mean, look,
if they got in a horrible accident
and they went to the hospital, he would do something for them.
Exactly.
But that's not this.
And I'm sure he's given them good investment advice on the way. So,
I'm sure he has. I mean, and they're all successful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
after this meeting, we started hardballing our kids, and we said, don't expect us to leave anything. I go, we didn't expect our parents to leave us anything. We kind of got lucky on my mom's side because my grandparents knew my mom well enough to know that they would not leave her any money that would be anything but blown. So what they did was they created a trust that when they died, they had a trustee that was my grandfather's boss's son, somebody that would live long enough to be the trustee. And what he did was he paid for all my mom's expenses, but never told her how much money there was. And then when my mom dies, the trust dissolved, and then it was split amongst the remaining children. And we didn't expect that to be happening. We just waited. And that was like, if we had been expecting that money, you know what I mean? There are things that we would have done along the way that she only died 8 years ago. So there are things we would have done along the way. So we're telling our kids, I don't know what you're hearing about grandma's money, because Sue's mom just left us a bunch of money. She says, but, we're putting that aside in case the shit hits the fan, and we just want to let you. And so we're saying, do us a favor. And if you're not in a 401k, could you at least see if your employer gives matching funds? Well, I'll be goddamned. 2 of my kids work for employers that will allow them to put up to 20% in and match 50% of it. So if they're making, they're all making, they're making $40,000. They put in 20%. That's $8,000. And the employer,
and he's putting in 4. So that's 12.
I said, you're not getting that return anywhere. I can't,
exactly.
The Koch brothers don't.
I have this image of Mark telling his kids, you're not getting anything from us. And one of the kids is late to this meeting, and he says to his sibling, what was Dad talking about? That's some white guy bullshit. Yeah. We're getting screwed. Let's see what some OFE propaganda shit.
They'll start listening to me when I learn how to turn a rib on the fire.
Yeah. Open a PDF.
Hysterical.
Yeah, so I learned all my plans, my future plans from sci-fi on TV. Nothing's gonna live. Nothing's gonna survive. Not a soul's gonna be out there. Just spend it. Way.
By the way,
there you go.
Kathy, you may be the only person among us besides me who do you get these calls about Medicare supplements?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so my Medicare supplement is based on the fact that I had cancer and a heart attack. I mean, I have it, but it's $280 a month because I had cancer and a heart attack. So they constantly are calling. But this is what I said to one of them. I said, look, I want you to spread the word among the other companies that you may be associated with, because I have the feeling that the people who are calling me saying they're from other companies are owned by one company. So let me tell you this, because I do, if I thought for a second you could save me money, I would listen to you. Okay. But I want you to hear what I have to say. I had cancer in 2019. I'm in remission. I'm fine. My blood work is perfect. And I had a heart attack in 2020. Okay. Now, if you think you can beat $280 a month, I'll stay on the phone. But if not, hang up. It's okay. No hard feelings. And tell all of your associates, don't call this guy.
Yeah.
I have not gotten a call since that call.
Nice. There you go. Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be mean. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
I have not gotten a call since that call.
Well, my lesson in socialism was when I was going on. My husband had died, and a couple years later, we've raised our granddaughter since she was 16 months old, and she had always been on our health insurance. We never adopted her because we didn't want to get her father involved in any of this. But we were legal guardians and had full rights and everything.
I got you.
So then, as I was going on Medicare at 65, I had to find health insurance for her. And I called a couple of insurance people that I knew, and they said, you know what? She can go on Medicaid. I said, oh, I'm not putting my child on Medicaid, it's on, and they said, oh no, you want her to go on Medicaid. So finally I, try it and okay. So we go on Medicaid. Oh my God. It hasn't cost me a dime. And then she's had a couple, she had surgery. She's had, a couple other things.
How great is that?
Yeah.
Exactly. And, and my big reluctance was I've never I was never in a position where I needed food stamps or anything like that. Although we were offered food stamps when she went on Medicaid. But,
And by the way, if Trump had been reelected, he was going to get rid of all that.
exactly. And,
Sure
and
shit was.
the poor kid, through no fault of her own, couldn't get health insurance. And I wasn't going to have this young child with no health insurance. And people said, look, you've paid into this for years. You pay, more than your share of taxes. You're entitled to this. Take it. And now, of course, she's 22 and out on her own, and has a job that she, is beyond the Medicaid limit. Now we've been shopping for health insurance for, oh, cripe. What
You're funny talk about beyond the Medicaid limits. When we lived in Los Angeles, we used to have a minimal plan. We've talked about it before, Sam, that PCA.
Yes. That was a good insurance.
That was good insurance, but it didn't. Basically, it covered you if you had catastrophic.
That's right.
Stuff. Yeah. You still had to cover most of it, but our kids were covered under something called Cal Kids or something. I can't remember, whatever the Medicaid was for kids. And then we took classes at El Camino Community College, and for $1 a semester, we were allowed to use their health clinics, which was affiliated which was associated with the UCLA Medical Center.
Yeah.
And so we got access to all of UCLA's medical center. And so that's how we did our health insurance, but we didn't qualify for it if we reached a certain amount of income. So every year I'd get to $45,000 and I go, all right, I'd get, be around July, August. I go, if I don't think I can make, and December was always good because of Christmas shows. If I don't think I could make $75,000 or $85,000 a year, I'd stop working in September. Because the cost, we figured out that the cost.
That's smart.
The cost of having to pay for the health insurance costs that much.
Yeah.
And, having the kids and my wife and I all on the health insurance. My wife eventually got a job that got health insurance, and that was a moot point. And, we've lived off of her health insurance since then. But that was a little game we played in July and August. It was, and then I get cocky about it, I mean, I knew what I had coming up at Christmas.
As you should.
Yeah.
And what I did, you know what happened? It moved me up in shows because somebody wanted me back and they still wanted to pay me $600 a middle. I says, I got to make at least $1,200. Well, we only pay the headliners that. Well, I'm a headliner or I'm not working for you or I'm working for you again next spring when my price goes back down again.
Well, the other great advantage too, I'll throw this out, that when she was applying to colleges and we're looking at, some financial aid here and there, turns out that since she was never adopted and was just had a legal guardianship, my income didn't count towards anything for financial aid for college.
How about that?
On those forms, where it said income, big zero.
Now, was she ever in foster care?
Not officially. We'd always had her, but she was considered a foster child legally.
My kids, because they were in foster care, they have from the Michigan Treasury, they've got what they call the TIP scholarship.
Yes. Yeah. Well, of course,
my adopted kids have all their college paid for so far.
Yeah.
Mark, did I send you that story about the guy who found a kid on the subway?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
You know what? You sent it to all of us, I think.
That is the most amazing story. Andy, did you see it?
I didn't. I thought I saw an article about it was a couple that adopted the kid that they found on the subway.
It was a couple of these two guys. They weren't married at the time, I don't think. It was only one of them on the subway, and he looks. There's like a blanket, and he thinks it's a doll. And then the leg moves.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's a really advanced doll. No, and he and he and he and he, you know,
It's a
and
Roomba.
yeah, exactly. It's a Roomba. And he said, "What a filthy doll!" And so he takes he ta- he takes the kid home. And but the most amazing thing, besides the fact this kid is now 22 and he's doing great, you know, which is God
Right.
bless them. But what the coolest thing to me was the judge who determined how long it would be before they could legally adopt this kid said it was like December 21st. And the judge said, "Would you like to have this child be your legal child by Christmas?" And they went, what? And it's 4 days away. So they thought he was just, you know, and they went, "Well, yeah, but okay." And they did it.
Yeah.
The judge did it.
Yeah.
He
There
just,
are-
he sped things along, baby.
Yeah.
It's
there are good
such a
people out there.
heartening story,
Yeah.
you know.
The most
And,
amazing
so
thing to me about that, the
in
most
so many
amazing thing to
states
me
in
about
this
that
country-
story, what was the most amazing thing to me was that that story was from BBC. It wasn't even an American. It was a British
Yeah.
story.
In so many states in this country, a gay couple couldn't even adopt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
you know,
gay
how sad
couples,
is that?
and I interviewed this gay couple once. They have 5 children, and all their children are special needs kids. Gay couples are more than willing to take special needs kids into their home,
Yeah.
which means that at some point Matt Gaetz could have had a gay father.
All right. Well,
You know, yeah, go
we
ahead.
have to remind people that heterosexuals have gay children. They give
Well,
birth
you know,
to them.
there was a woman that's funny you mentioned that. There was a woman who was suing her daughter, who was a lesbian,
Oh,
right?
Jesus.
to take that woman's child away. And the judge said, "You're taking this child, you want to take this child away because your daughter's a lesbian?" She said, "Yes." He goes, "But you raised her,
Yeah.
and now she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
So why should you get the child?" And there was a whole lot of,
Yeah.
yeah, wait a minute. This logic shit is killing me. Yeah, I can't. But did you know a comic named Ed Regine,
Where's he from?
Rhode Island?
No, don't know.
You know, this story. Ed sold cars, used cars, which, if you think about it, stand-up comic, used car salesman, kind of simpatico.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not that far reach.
Right. And he got into trouble because he rolled back the odometer, which
Yeah.
doesn't sound like a terrible thing, but it's very dangerous to do because you drive a car differently at 40,000 miles than you would at 90.
Mm.
Okay. So he
Mhm.
got caught, and then he got caught again.
Oh.
And the second time he got caught, a friend of mine went to his second trial. And he said to the judge, "Your Honor, I have made financial restitution with everyone. And I understand that a jail sentence is something that you want to impose. If I could, I'd like to suggest instead of that, I do community service as a stand-up comic working for free to groups that might need stand-up comic to bring joy into their lives." And the judge says, well, let me see, Mr. Regina, you want to bring joy into people's lives. Did you bring joy into Joanne Poole's life when you knocked 35,000 miles off her Toyota? Turns the page. Did you bring joy into David Delaney's life? Page. And my friend said his shoulders just kept sinking and sinking. And he did 2 years
Wow.
Huh.
Wow.
in medium security in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Well, let's
Yeah.
save that. Let's table that. Comics who do time. Let's table that discussion for
Yeah.
another week because we've
How
done
about comics
about
who
10
should do
hours, can't
time?
we?
How about comics who do
Good.
too much time?
Yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Get the
There we
light.
go.
Get
There
the
we go.
light. Yeah.
Were you bringing joy into people's lives when you went 15 minutes over as an opener?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here's my favorite expression. but the crowd was with me. They
Yeah.
didn't have a choice.
Yeah. What could I do? What could I do?
What can I do? I just gotta keep
Spanarelli has this
going.
great line. He said, "I thought I was getting applause. Some guy was packing his smokes."
I tell you what, that joke ages too because there's only so many people that get packing their smoked means.
Or smoking indoors.
Indoors, yeah. You can
Yeah.
even bring their smokes in. Yeah.
The joke I used to tell was, I thought I was getting a standing ovation. It just turned out everybody got up and left. A little embarrassing, actually.
Wow.
Hey, well, anyway, we spent another hour here on Monday night doing what we do, and that is just talking about what's on our minds and busting each other's chops and going back and forth. And it was a good time tonight, and we'll be back at it again next week. We're going to sign off now and join us here every week. It's always on YouTube. There's usually a link on Detroit Comedians and Comedy Fans. If you'd like to get your website or your YouTube page or your Facebook page linked up to it, send me a note. I can hook you up too. So thanks to everybody. Thanks to Andy and Kathy and Sam, our regulars. I'm Mark Sweetman. We'll see you again next Monday night.
Yeah. Don't own
Good night,
anything.